Hi everyone, my name's Kent Morris. I'm a Barkindji artist and I'm here at the Richmond Town Hall with Yarra City Arts for my exhibitions Unvanished and Cultural Reflections Up Above. I'd like to invite everyone to the Richmond Town Hall to come and view these works and share these stories. The works express the importance of First Nations histories, stories and philosophies being understood and being shared and being incorporated into our everyday lives. You'll notice the building materials you're very familiar with, from historic buildings to contemporary buildings, buildings that we inhabit, buildings that we work in, and the interaction of the native birds. You'll see how I'm reconstructing those buildings to form the shapes of shields, to form the linear and geometric design so apparent on our beautiful belongings and artefacts that talk about connection to country, connection to kinship, how all things are interconnected and how we all play a part in that. And that as First Nations people, we don't see ourselves as any more important than the bird on that roof or the blade of grass on the ground, the beautiful grevillea bush, the ocean, the bay, the rivers, the plants and the sky, that we are all on an even keel. And that's a very different way of thinking, because in a Western view, you're the most important person. Your world revolves around your place. And often it's about reshaping the world for economic and commercial gain at the expense of the environment. For a First Nations worldview, nothing's more important than country, caring for country and caring for the environment. Protect the environment, protect country, and the country will protect you. Unvanished is the second series of works I made. It's a series that looks at place, your relationship to place and the importance of place through a First Nations lens. It also looks at the importance of our native birds, their stories, our impacts on their environments, and why are they always on our roofs? This work, Barkindji, Broken Hill, Little Corella, was shot in the early morning of Broken Hill when a huge mob of Corellas came into the city centre. There's a lot of discussion and debate around why this happens, but again, we're impacting on the environment of our wonderful native birds, and they are finding alternative ways to survive. And one of those ways is to come in to urban centres and to regional centres. This photograph was taken on a very historic building in Broken Hill, which was proudly proclaiming that it was built in 1880. The thing I loved about this interaction of the Corellas with this building is that one of our creation stories of the Ginki Nulu, the two sisters in the sky, the two Corellas in the sky. And this connects Barkindji people to time immemorial, because the two sisters are related to the Magellan galaxies, the two dwarf galaxies that orbit the Milky Way. So we see our connection as being since time immemorial and ongoing. And so the bird said to me, our culture has been here for such a long time, yet this building had been here for 100 years, 150 years. Yet it was proudly proclaiming that. And I think that's an interesting viewpoint around, again, First Nations culture and settler colonialism that came here, and the respect for the long, deep time knowledge that's embedded in this country and in the stories of this country. So a slight bit of irony, a slight bit of smile on my face to see the beautiful ancient birds and stories gleefully playing and taking over this building that had only been here for a short period of time, and again did not recognise in any of its architectural form or structure that it was built and placed on Aboriginal land. Bunwurrung St Kilda magpie carries with it an important creation story. It represents a magpie on a building as the sun is rising. And again, the building has been reshaped to represent spearheads, the stone knapping and flake tools, and the beautiful designs. Thousands of years ago, in our cultural creation stories, the sky was very close to the Earth's surface, and humans were getting around on all fours. The magpies observed this with a little bit of interest and intrigue and wondered how might they support these wonderful critters to stand upright and to walk around on two legs and have their two arms free to take care of other activities. So they thought studiously and ingeniously. They each gathered a stick, some large, some small. The magpies gathered together and lifted the sky very slowly with all of the sticks flying together as one, as a community, to lift the sky up, to lift it higher and higher. So eventually people could stand upright. This moment was greeted with great joy by the magpies, and at the same time the sun rose. And so when you hear magpies singing in the morning, it's a celebration not only of each and every new day, it's the importance of working together as a community for the betterment of all, for each other, and not pursuing individual gain. So when you hear those fellas singing "Sun Rises in the Morning," that's a message for all of us. This work is Barkindji, Broken Hill, Mallee Ringneck, and it's part of the Cultural Reflections Up Above series. It was shot in Broken Hill, again on my ancestral country, when I was visiting family and community and venturing back to spend time on country from where I live and work in Melbourne. I turned the corner to come across a series of power lines populated by these beautiful Mallee Ringnecks. And again, the works are really not about searching for birds to photograph, but about walking on country and documenting my experience and my thoughts around our cultural heritage, and again, the built environment and how absent a lot of our culture is from that built environment. So the explosion of colour of the Mallee Ringnecks on the power lines, immediately I could see with the lines and the power poles, there was an opportunity to create again the beautiful geometric line work that is so important to our culture and our cultural heritage. So the built environment again is being reshaped. It's being viewed in real time, and my photographs are all about, in a sense, documenting my cultural journey, where I live and work, visiting family and friends, cultural experiences, cultural exchange, where my art takes me. These are part of a cultural journey rather than a narrative which is to do with bird photography, if you like. So that's an essential sort of shift in how you might look at these works. That's not really about the birds as birds, it's around that interaction and what it might express. By reshaping the built environment through a First Nations lens, I'm hoping to open up a discussion around place, connection to place, and the ongoing philosophical and cultural beliefs of First Nations Australians, which are embedded in country. They are here, they've always been here. I hope you enjoy this exhibition and that it raises questions, ideas, thoughts and discussions. We need to be talking, we need to be sharing our stories and our ideas to form better connections with each other and with the long-time Indigenous culture that is in this country.